What if I told you that there is a way for you to get paid to exist, for simply being you? It's actually not that hard. Your mind will make it really hard. But in reality, there is only one path that you can take that will feel effortless, which will lead you into a financial circulation that comes back to you for just being yourself. And this is to follow the thread that excites you and stop feeding the things in your life that no longer resonates. In theory, this is really simple, but not as easy in the practical sense sometimes. Because we live in this world that is driven by an economy where we need money to survive. So you can't just quit your 9-to-5 job if you have rents to pay and you have children to take care of at home, or you need food on the table, right? So this is the part where we need to put all of those, very tangible and real things aside for a while. All of the things that makes you need money, right? Because you need to survive and you need to provide for yourself. And the way you have done this so far has been to have a regular job that you go to for maybe 40 hours a week. So this is all the practical things. So let's not forget that they are here, but let's put them aside for now. Okay? So let that go for now. So what we are left with for now is to look at what is actually giving you energy. Is there something in your life right now that you feel like this is kind of a passion of mine? Something there where you are creating something from within yourself. It could be that you're drawn to painting or creating art in some form or way, or you love to be with kids, or whatever it may be. There is something that is calling you forth. And this thing might not even be that tangible for you right now. Because you hear people find their calling, that I love painting, and then they start to paint and then they get paid to be a painter, for example. Maybe your path isn't, that carved out right now, which is fully okay and not an obstacle at all. So what we need to do is to create some space, some sort of space where you can start to listen within yourself. Because the only way to find out what is calling you forth is to create space from the things that drains you. Okay? And even if you are in a 9-to-5 job right now and you can't just quit because you have bills to pay and all that stuff, put that aside for now. Anyways, right? You probably come home and you look at your phone more than you would like to, and you doom scroll and you watch TV shows on repeat that you don't even really care about that much. So there is things in your life where you are filling up a precious space that could potentially be something where you actually Find something out from within yourself, something that feels more real and fulfilling, but you will never find it out as long as you fill it up with junk. So this is the space that you're in, right? So during a day, find spaces where you are being with yourself. Find spaces where you are exploring something creative. And the thing is that before you might know what is calling you forth, the thing, the thread within yourself that like is knocking, but it's knocking so quietly so you can't really hear it right now, then your best option is to look at all the things that is draining you. That's a great starting point. Look at all the tangible things in your life, your relationships, your job, your activities that you do all day, the things that you do to avoid being with yourself, where you're in consumption mode instead of creator mode, right? Start to investigate all the ways your energy are drained during a day. And then you replace some of those things with space. And what is space, you might wonder? Space from things that you're filling yourself up with is basically that you are being with yourself. Not doing with yourself, that you are being with yourself. Maybe you are met with tensions within yourself. You're met with this unsettling feeling within yourself. This is all emotions that wants to be felt by you, that is currently suppressed by you. Once you feel them, the energy neutralizes itself, which makes you feel safe to open your energy. When you're in a state of being open, you can feel it, you know? It's when everything just feels like it's at place within yourself, and you feel like you can breathe deep down in your belly, and you just feel like good to be you. This is like the foundational state. And once you find this state within yourself, where you are receptive, you start to receive. When you're receptive, you are listening. And then you can start to feel like a pull from within, or you feel inspired by someone online, for example. There's something someone says in a video or in a written poem or whatever that you just feel like, there's something there. That's the thread, my friend. That's your yes. So when you feel a yes, when your energy feels open towards something, you want to infuse yourself in this energy, it means that you're on the right track. You are following the thread from within yourself. As you follow this thread, you will naturally stumble upon service. So this is where, getting paid to exist comes in, right? So as you follow yourself, this will feel effortless. It will feel good for you. And therefore, when it comes to getting paid to exist, it doesn't mean that you sit on your sofa all day doing nothing, because that is not what wants to call you forth. That is an avoidance in itself. Life naturally wants to move. Life naturally wants to be in the flow. Just look at a river, right? It's just flowing endlessly, and the water is moving and it's moving and it's moving and it's abundant, right? It's to find your inner river which is deeply related to service. So what is service? It's your contribution to the world. Something that is deeply related to your being. When you find out who you are on a foundational level, your being becomes an extension of your doing. And your doing naturally is drawn towards service. And when you are in service, your stream of water starts to shape into a river with clear riverbanks. This is when people start to recognize you for what you're here to do. And at this state, it will turn into a flow of energy where money is involved. Because life naturally supports those who say yes to life, who say yes to their calling, who say yes to that little inner thread that they discover from within, and they keep follow it. And they keep letting go of the things, tangible things in their life, like their job, relationship, etc., that no longer serves them. Okay? And this is when you are getting paid to exist. Okay? Because your being and your doing is so deeply infused by life, by yourself, which is so deeply infused with service, that there is a natural circulation that wants to find you in form of money and other forms of abundance. Okay? So you're in the flow of life. And this is when you are naturally like living the life that you actually want, that you feel actually like literally excited about. You're doing something that fulfills you rather than drains you, that you feel called towards rather than something that feels like a no. And in return, you're in this flow, financial circulation that wants to find you. And this looks very differently from person to person. So I can't say to you that this is your path or this is your path. I can only speak about the living currents behind, okay? So you need to find it within yourself. And if you can't hear that whispers within yourself, you can't see that thread that wants to be followed by you, as I said before, start to look at everything that drains you right now, that doesn't feel supportive, that doesn't feel, open. And then step by step, this is, okay, let's take back your whole package of all the tangible things that you currently have in your life, like your job that supports you financially to some degree right now, but the thing that you do in itself drains your spirit, right? So how can you transform from this to something that feels more effortless and light, and where the energy can flow without effort, aka being paid to exist? It's to look at what you have around you. Look really closely, okay? So for me, for example, when I realized that I wasn't drawn to a 9-to-5 job anymore, this was maybe 5 years ago, I started to look at how I could change things in my life. So I started to create some space with working 80% instead of 100%. Yes, I got a little bit less money for a while, but it was worth it, right? And then all the savings that I had, I just poured into coaching and mentorships where like I saw someone doing the thing that I wanted as well. And that was like one of the biggest shifts for me, to be honest, because it was like I hacked their energy so that I could like find that version within myself. Because something just resonated towards that mentor, for example. And from there, it was also that like for some period of time, I rented out my apartment because it was quite expensive. And I lived in a bed, like I rented a room at my friend's house, which was so much more affordable so that I could have even more space to explore what really mattered for me. And then I switched up. So I worked other jobs, for example. So I started to work part-time on the weekends with kids and adults with autism, for example, which was better paid and allowed me to have more space. Okay, so these are all tangible things that you can do. And I can't say do this or that. You need to find that out for yourself. But my suggestion is that you start to look where you're at right now. And I promise you that when you start to look, life will always want to support those who are ready for a change. So the path will reveal itself once you say yes to the path and say no to that thing that no longer resonates, that you are done with this. And even if you're done with this, it's like an energetic thing, right? You're a no to it. You still might swim in that environment for some time before you transition into this new way of being that is so much more effortless, where you can actually start to hear the whispers. And right now, your whispers might be that this doesn't resonate anymore. So start to look there. After a while, once you create some physical space, but also mental space, it will become clearer what the next step for you is. Sometimes it's not the most pleasant thing. Sometimes it's driven by this like ache, right? That you just feel like something is off. I can't live like this anymore. I am so done with this. And I'm scared because I don't know where to go and how to do, right? And that can feel very uncomfortable, but it's still that whisper. And it might even be a screaming, right? And sometimes it's more subtle. It's like you're just there. And it's almost like you can't hear anything at all. And suddenly, there is like this, okay, go this way. Try this out. Explore this path. And eventually, it will lead you to a complete match where you are getting paid to exist, to simply being you. So, I'm starting to feel complete in this video. I have 4 minutes left on my camera, and before I end, I just want to show you a little friend of mine that came into my life for 5 days ago. And this was a big yes for me. This was something that felt open for me, like the next chapter for me. And that is that I now have a little puppy called Tor, which is a golden retriever. And he's actually laying here beside me right now. And I'm just gonna get him. He's a little bit sleepy right now, but here he is. Say hi to Tor. And this little guy just came into my life in the exact right timing, where both me and my partner felt very open to have a little one to pour our love into, because we have so much in our hearts. So we just decided a day on a mountaintop in Lofoten 1 month ago. The day after, we wrote a letter to the shelter, and then 5 minutes after, he called us and said that we have one puppy left, and that's this one. So a month ago, we didn't know we were going to be parents for this little guy, but we simply listened to what felt open. And then life supported us with this little one. And he's just bringing so much love and joy, and I just love him so much. So say hi to Tor. So that was all for today. I see you in the next video. Bye.